Hello and welcome to eChineseLearning Pod, your go-to podcast for learning Chinese and exploring Chinese culture. To protect speakers' privacy and enhance audio quality, some or all voices in this episode are created with AI assistance.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Think about how often food, eating, comes up in just regular conversation.
Oh, constantly.
Right. But in China, it seems to go even deeper than just, like, what's for dinner?
Definitely. That common greeting, have you eaten?
你吃了吗?
It's not just small talk.
No, it's like genuine concern, right? A way to check in,
Yeah.
show you care.
Exactly. It really underlines how central eating is. It's this huge social connector.
And what's fascinating, and what we're digging into today, is how this cultural weight isn't just, in the act of eating itself.
It's baked right into the language.
Yes. Especially in Chinese idioms. It's like a window into the culture.
Yeah, a really rich and honestly surprising window.
Which brings us to our source for this deep dive. We found this great master's thesis called The Study of Chinese Idiom with Eating. 118 idioms that all use the character 吃, meaning to eat.
118, that alone tells you something, doesn't
It
it?
really does. Why so many? What's going on there?
And the big one for us, the cultural connections. It's like these everyday phrases are little keys.
Right. So our mission for you listening is kind of to follow that trail. We want to uncover some of those maybe surprising insights into Chinese culture, maybe philosophy, ways of thinking.
All through these common expressions about eating.
Yeah, it's like getting a cultural snapshot through the language of food. So where did Du Miao start with these 118 Qi idioms? How did the study categorize them?
Well, the first step was looking at the grammar, how they're built. The thesis splits them into two main structural groups, single-syllable and double-syllable idioms.
Okay, single syllable first. Sounds short and punchy.
They often are. And a huge chunk of these follow a simple verb-object structure, basically eat something.
Like.
Okay, a really common one is
吃豆腐.
literally eat tofu.
Right, eat tofu. Seems simple enough.
But idiomatically, it means to take advantage of someone, often like in a flirty or inappropriate way.
Whoa. Okay, that's not about enjoying bean curd then.
Not at all. And it makes you think, why tofu? What's the connection there? Is it the softness? Something else?
Yeah, the cultural baggage of the food itself. That's interesting. Any other verb object examples?
Another good one is
吃鸭蛋.
eat duck egg.
Okay.
Idiomatically, it means you got a 0. On a test, in a game, whatever.
A 0. Why a duck egg?
Think about the shape. Round, empty. Like a 0.
Okay, that's very visual. I get that. So does having so many eat something idioms suggest anything, like a more concrete way of talking about things?
That's a great point. It might suggest grounding abstract ideas in, physical actions. Makes them more tangible, maybe.
Could be. What other single syllable structures did this study find?
Well, there are also verb complement structures. So
吃.
is the verb, and then something follows that tells you about the result or your ability.
Okay, example.
吃不消.
Literally, maybe eat, not disappear, or eat, not digest.
Doesn't sound very grammatical.
Right. Literally, it's odd, but it means can't take it, can't stand it, can't handle it.
So it's not about food digestion, but like
Yeah.
emotional or physical capacity.
Exactly. Like you're taking in stress or work or hardship, and you just can't process it anymore. Eating becomes a metaphor for intake, for enduring.
Interesting. So eating can represent dealing with intangible stuff too. What else?
Then you have coordinate structures. Two parts working together. Like,
吃硬不吃软.
Eat hard, not eat soft.
yeah. It describes someone who only responds to toughness, not kindness. Or maybe the opposite, depending on context. Sometimes it's like a personality shorthand.
Wow, yeah. Little 4-character behavioral profile. Now, the thesis also mentioned something called super sentence single-syllable idioms. That sounds complex.
They're really cool, actually. They pack a whole complex relationship or scenario into one short phrase, like mini narratives.
Okay, give me one.
羊肉没吃着，惹了一身骚.
That's a mouthful. Literally about mutton.
Literally can't get the mutton, but still get the stink on you.
Okay, so you didn't even get the good part, but you still smell bad.
Exactly. It means you suffer the negative consequences of something, even though you didn't get the benefit you were hoping for. Like trying to do something sneaky, failing, but still getting blamed.
So that captures that unfairness, that futility almost.
Right. And I found others expressing purpose, cause and effect, sequences, conditions, all packed into these single, dense phrases. Shows the efficiency of the language.
That's incredible linguistic density. So much packed in. What about the double syllable ones? Were they as common?
According to this study, no, they were less frequent among the
吃
idioms analyzed.
But they exist.
Oh, yeah. And they often use parallel structure for emphasis. One example given is
吃黑饭互欺住
Eat black rice, protect lacquer pillar.
Yep.
The parallelism kind of highlights the meaning. You serve whoever feeds you, whoever provides. A bit pragmatic, maybe even cynical.
Okay, so we've got the structure down. Verb object, verb complement, these complex single phrases. But the real juice, right, is in the meaning, beyond just literally eating.
Absolutely. This is where we get into metaphor and metonymy. This is where
吃
idioms really start to show their cultural colors.
Explain those terms quickly again, metaphor and metonymy.
Sure. Metaphor is understanding one thing in terms of another, like saying someone devoured a book. They didn't literally eat it, but we understand the intensity of their reading, like intense eating.
Got it. And metonymy.
Metonymy is when you use one aspect or something closely related to stand for the whole thing, like saying the crown to mean the monarchy.
Okay, so how do these play out in
吃
the idioms? Give us some of those core metaphors the study found.
Okay, a really big one is eating is understanding.
Eating is understanding. How does that work?
Take
吃不透
literally eat not thoroughly or eat not penetrate.
So indigestion. No, it means you can't fully grasp something, you can't understand it deeply, like you can't mentally digest the idea.
Like we say, I can't swallow that explanation.
Exactly, that link between physical processing and mental processing.
Fascinating. What other big metaphors are there?
Another key one, eating, is consuming or expending.
Consuming, like using something up.
Yeah, think of
吃力不讨好
literally eat effort, not seek good.
Eat effort.
Right. It means you exert a lot of effort, but get no reward or thanks. Your effort was eaten up, consumed for nothing.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Thankless tasks. That idiom captures it perfectly.
It really does. It might even suggest a cultural awareness that effort doesn't always pay off.
Any others?
Yes, eating is relying on.
Relying on.
Like, literally, eat old capital or eat old roots.
Okay. So you're eating your savings.
Sort of. It means living off your past achievements or savings, not making new efforts. You're relying on eating what you already have.
Coasting. Got it.
Then there's eating is suffering.
Eating is suffering. That sounds counterintuitive.
Think about taste.
Yeah.
Literally eat bitterness. It means to suffer hardships, to go through difficult times. The unpleasantness of bitterness stands in for suffering.
Okay. Linking a negative taste to a negative experience. That makes sense. Are there idioms for, like, eating is joy? It seems like the suffering effort ones are prominent here.
That's a really sharp question. This study focuses heavily on these common ones, which do often carry connotations of effort, suffering, or consumption. There might be others expressing joy, but these particular metaphors seem very culturally embedded. And one more key one.
Hold on.
Eating is obtaining.
Obtaining. Like getting something.
Yes, often something maybe you shouldn't. Jifuiko, eat a kickback.
Oh, taking a bribe or an illicit commission.
Exactly. Eating it implies receiving it, taking it in.
So eating covers understanding, using up, relying on, suffering, and getting stuff. It's incredibly flexible. How does metonymy fit in with these metaphors? You said they work together.
Often, yeah. Metonymy is like the first step. The thing being eaten, food or not, first takes on a related meaning through association, through metonymy. Then the act of eating, it becomes metaphorical based on that new meaning.
Okay, walk me through that. Use an example.
Let's go back to
吃鸭蛋
eat duck egg. First step, metonymy. The duck egg, because of its round shape, becomes a stand-in for 0 points.
Right, duck egg, 0.
Then step 2, metaphor. The act of eating that metaphorical 0 means receiving that score.
Okay, I see the 2 steps now. Another one.
吃豆腐
Eat tofu. Step 1, metonymy. Tofu is maybe seen as soft, perhaps associated with femininity or vulnerability in some contexts. Tofu, softness, vulnerability.
Okay.
Step 2, metaphor. Eating it, playing on that metonymic link, becomes a metaphor for taking advantage of that perceived softness or vulnerability.
Wow. Okay, that clarifies how the object's meaning fuels the metaphor. It's not random.
Not at all. And Dumia's study digs into this by categorizing idioms based on what is being eaten.
Right, the object of tea. What did that show?
Well, first, idioms involving actual food, things like the duck eggs, obviously, or idioms mentioning specific qualities like
吃软饭
eat soft rice.
Soft rice. What does that mean?
It means to live off a woman, like a kept man. The softness of the rice implies an easy life, perhaps seen negatively, provided by someone else. Why soft rice? That specific choice tells you something.
It really does. So the food itself carries symbolic weight. What about eating non-food things?
That's a huge category and super revealing. You can eat things related to, say, utensils or places, 切器工作, eat at a small stove.
Not the main kitchen stove.
Exactly. It means getting special treatment, preferential access outside the normal system. The small stove symbolizes privilege.
Okay, what else?
You can eat sensory qualities like the bitterness in 切器. You can eat things linked to authority like
吃皇粮
eat the emperor's grain.
Meaning work for the government.
Yes, reflecting that historical feudal structure. You can even eat abstract concepts like quantity,
吃二毛
means getting a tiny benefit, or even nature itself, like
吃风
Eat wind, meaning you get nothing.
precisely having nothing to eat, getting no results. It shows how wide-ranging this eating metaphor can be.
It seems like almost anything can be the object. 吃. Did the study mention animals?
Yep, like
牛吃回头草
eat grass, turn back.
Like a cow going back to grass that already passed?
Kind of. It means going back to an old relationship or an old job, maybe one you shouldn't return to. It uses that animal imagery to comment on human choices.
Okay, so we've got the structure, the layers of meaning through metaphor and metonymy, the types of objects. How are these idioms actually used? What makes them work in conversation? Pragmatic features, I think the term was.
Right. Pragmatics. One big thing is flexibility, especially those verb object ones. They're not always rigid. You can sometimes separate parts, like in 吃白吃吃光了, eat free food, got used to it.
Ah, so they fit naturally into sentences.
Exactly. Which makes them feel very colloquial, very natural, not stiff or formal.
They definitely sound like things you'd hear people actually say.
And they often have that colloquial, sometimes even satirical edge, like
吃官饭放肆骆驼
Eat official rice, release private camels.
yeah. It's a sharp critique of using public office or resources for your own private gain. Very pointed.
Clever imagery.
And that's another key feature, vividness. They create strong mental images. Think about,
吃耳光
Eat an ear slap.
right, it's so much more visceral than just saying get slapped. You almost feel it.
Yeah, you really do.
And importantly, these idioms exist in time. They have context. Some, like emperor's grain, are clearly historical.
From feudal times.
Others, like
吃大锅饭
eat from the big pot, evoke a specific era, the time of communal dining in China.
Reflecting social and economic history.
Right. And the thesis notes that as society changes, some older idioms naturally fade, become less common. Language evolves.
So they're living things, reflecting the culture as it shifts.
Yeah.
Which brings us, I guess, to the heart of it.
Mm.
What are the big picture cultural connotations these idioms reveal?
Okay, this is where it all ties together. The absolute baseline is the sheer importance of dietary culture.
We started there with the greeting.
Exactly. That saying, food is the first necessity of the people.
吃了吗
It's not just a nice phrase. It reflects millennia of agricultural history, of struggles with famine. Food security was existential.
So eating gets elevated beyond just biology.
Way beyond. It becomes central to well-being, social stability, everything.
Right. You mentioned specific foods earlier, like rice.
Yes. Rice shows up in soft rice, live off a woman. Each carries specific cultural weight.
And not just staples, right? Side dishes, too.
Oh, yeah. Meat. Meat, like in young girl, eat mutton, cause trouble. Or lingzero, eat cold pork, be stuck in old ways.
Vegetables. We had tofu.
Right. And fruits, like grapes and micra putao, eat grapes, don't spit seeds, endure mistreatment. Or persimmons in shizi. Pick soft persimmons, bully the weak.
It's like the whole pantry is in the language.
Even seasonings. Vinegar, vinicu, encillions, scallions, garlic, ginger.
Hachushan, suanjian have specific preferences. It's a culinary map.
Incredible detail. What about drinks? Yep. Soup tang, in soup.
迷魂汤
Drank bewitching soup, be captivated. And tea,
茶
like
喝两家茶
drink tea at two families, be engaged twice, or
请茶
mediate a dispute over tea.
Reflecting the social role of tea houses, maybe.
Could be, yeah. It paints this picture of food and drink being woven into social rituals, festivals, everyday interactions.
Okay, so deep roots in dietary culture. What about philosophical ideas? Do those surface?
Definitely. You can see echoes of Confucianism, particularly its focus on Ren benevolence, and especially Hey, harmony.
Harmony. How so?
Well, basic well-being, often linked to having enough to eat, is seen as foundational for a harmonious society. And idioms like,
吃百家饭
Eat 100 families' rice.
yeah, meaning to be raised by the whole community, supported by everyone. It beautifully reflects that ideal of communal support and harmony.
Wow, that's a direct link.
Yeah.
Anything else? Other philosophy?
There seems to be a resonance with the doctrine of the mean,
吃不饱
the idea of balance, avoiding extremes.
How does that show up?
An idiom like,
吃不饱也饿不死
Not full, but not starving to death.
exactly. It speaks to that middle path, that state of sufficiency without excess, finding equilibrium.
Okay, that makes sense.
So for you listening, maybe the big takeaway is this. Next time you hear or see the character 吃 in Chinese, pause for a second. Think beyond just eat.
Ask yourself, what else might be going on here? What cultural layer is being hinted at?
Yeah. And maybe even, explore some of those 8 major Chinese cuisines we mentioned, or look up the stories behind famous dishes. There's often a whole other layer of cultural understanding waiting in the food itself.
It's just amazing how something so basic, so universal as eating can become this intricate tapestry of language and culture. Makes you wonder, what other everyday things in our lives hold similar depths if we just looked closer at how we talk about them?
Want to practice what you've learned today with a real Chinese teacher? You can get a free one-on-one trial lesson at eChineseLearning.com. That's it for today's episode of eChinese Learning Pod. Thanks for tuning in.